We will start from verse 171 of Surah Al-Baqarah, which says, "The example of those who disbelieve is like that of one who shouts at what hears nothing but calls and cries, deaf, dumb, and blind, so they do not understand." Here, according to the Quran, as per Al-Jalalain and the majority opinion, it says that it likens the disbelievers to cattle that hear the voice of their shepherd but do not understand it. Who says this? Al-Jalalain, in the commentary of Al-Jalalain, or in the reflections of Al-Jalalain, states that the meaning of verse 171 of Surah Al-Baqarah is that the disbelievers are like cattle, which indeed hear the voice of their shepherd but do not truly understand what he communicates. Secondly, it says that the verse likens the disbelievers to wandering animals that do not comprehend what their shepherd says, so if he calls them to what guides them, they do not understand what he says, but they only hear it. Who said this? Who likened the disbelievers to animals? Ibn Abbas. My question is, I am not concerned with them. They can say what they want. My question is, why does God liken the disbelievers to cattle and animals, according to Al-Jalalain and according to Ibn Abbas? And he knows that they disbelieve in him, meaning it was not a surprise to him to describe them in this manner. O you who have believed, eat from the good things which we have provided for you, and be grateful to God if it is him that you worship. Pay attention here. Here, the Quran speaks in both the present and absent pronouns within the same verse. Let me clarify for you now what it says. It says, O you who have believed, eat from the good things which we have provided for you. We, God, have provided for you, not he has provided for you, but we have provided for you. Pay attention to what comes next. And be grateful, not to me, no, be grateful to God. Here we started. So the first part we have provided for you is in the present pronoun. We have provided for you, we, the second part. And be grateful to God. Be grateful to him. He is God, if you worship him, meaning the address could have been, and be grateful to me, if you worship me, no, and be grateful to God, to him, if you worship him. You worship him. So here the truth is that the pronoun, the pronoun, in the first part of the verse is the present pronoun, and in the second part of the verse, it is the absent pronoun. I don't really understand this truth. Then, come here. We are in verse 170 and 71, meaning we ended the last video 45 with verse 170, and this time we started with 71, talking about the disbelievers and discussing about how they are like those who disbelieved, like someone who calls out to what does not hear, and so on. So, here, O you who have believed, eat from the good things we have provided for you. What is the connection between 172 and 171? 172 to 171. In truth, there are transitions that take me away from the thematic unity. For instance, you have 173, take 173. He has only forbidden to you dead animals, blood, the flesh of swine, and that which has been dedicated to other than Allah. But whoever is forced by necessity, neither desiring it nor transgressing, there is no sin upon him. Indeed, Allah is forgiving and merciful. Right, exactly. Before that, in 172, you say eat, so when you come to talk to me about what Allah has forbidden of dead animals, blood, and the flesh of swine, and that which has been dedicated to other than Allah, there is thematic unity here between 72 and 73, but I don't understand the big transition from comparing the disbelievers to someone who calls out to what hears nothing, to eat, O believers. I mean, between 71 and 72, where is the connection? Where is the link between the two? That's the question. But 72 and 73 flow well. So, my question in 73 is what? My question in 73 is also about the same idea. Why? Is the speaker referring to Allah in the third person? Let me clarify for you. It says he has only forbidden, not I have forbidden or we have forbidden, but rather he has forbidden, meaning Allah. Forbidden to you are carrion, blood, the flesh of swine, and that which has been dedicated to other than Allah. But whoever is compelled by necessity, neither desiring it nor transgressing, there is no sin upon him. Indeed, Allah is forgiving and merciful. Who is speaking about Allah in the third person in verse 173 of Surah Al-Baqarah? That's the question, meaning we need to understand the language of the Quranic discourse to know. To know because when Allah speaks to us, He says, I am the oft-returning, the merciful. I forgive you. Indeed, I am the oft-returning, the merciful. It's clear, so fear them not, but fear me. It's completely clear when He speaks about Himself, we have sent down, and so on. All right. In all truth. 174. Indeed, those who conceal what Allah has sent down of the book and exchange it for a small price, they consume nothing but fire in their bellies. Allah will not speak to them on the day of resurrection, nor will He purify them, and they will have a painful punishment. First, let me tell you the reason for the revelation of this verse. The reason for the revelation of this verse is that the Jews were concealing what was revealed in the Torah about the Prophet Muhammad and his attributes. This was because if they revealed to the people the attributes of the new prophet, they would abandon the Jews and follow the new prophet. That is the story. Because they were benefiting from the people, and this is always the case with religious leaders throughout history, they were benefiting from them, right? So if they told them about the attributes of the new prophet, they concealed the attributes of the new prophet so that they wouldn't leave them and go to him. This is the reason for the revelation of verse 174. 174. Very well, yes. Where is this mentioned? Where is this reason for revelation found? In Al-Qurtubi, in the third line, exactly like that, if you want to refer to it. Also, here, those who conceal what Allah has revealed, not what we have revealed or what you have revealed. Who is the speaker here about Allah? When Allah speaks about Himself, He speaks about Himself well, and they purchase with it a small price. Those are the ones who eat nothing into their bellies except the fire, and Allah will not speak to them. It is very clear, I mean, I don't really know the truth. And Allah will not speak to them on the day of resurrection, nor will He purify them. He will neither speak to them nor purify them. Who is it that speaks about Allah? Who is He? Well, and they will have a painful punishment. So, the second point after the reasons for revelation is, who is speaking about Allah? In the third person in verse 174 of Surah Al-Baqarah, well, the truth here is, I see that it says Allah will not speak to them on the day of resurrection. Will Allah speak? Meaning, will He appear Himself on the day of resurrection and speak to the people? You must ask the question. Verse 175 says, those are the ones who have purchased error in exchange for guidance and punishment in exchange for forgiveness. How patient they are in facing the fire. The majority say it means amazement at their patience in facing the fire, if anyone can be patient with the fire. I don't understand the majority's opinion on this part, to be honest. Verse 176, that is because Allah has sent down the book in truth, and indeed, those who differ over the book are in extreme dissension. Some say it refers to the Torah, and those who differ are the Christians and Jews. The Christians said that the book contained and included the attributes of Jesus, while the Jews said that the book did not contain or include the attributes of Jesus. Well, that's one opinion. The second opinion is that the book in the verse refers to the Quran, and those who differed over it were the disbelievers of Quraysh. They described it as magic and the myths of the ancients. Here we also want to say that God is not like that I am not like that God is someone who talks about God. He came down. It is Allah who sent it down. All right. He sent the book with truth, and indeed, those who differed concerning the book are in extreme dissension. Very well, so who is it that is speaking about Allah? Who is it that says he sent it down? It could have been said, that is because I sent down the book with truth. It could mean. But here, someone is speaking about Allah in the third person in this verse, verse 176. Who is it? Well, here, in truth, I also want to understand what the wisdom is. I mean, it could be that there is wisdom in repetition. The word book is mentioned twice in the verse. What does it say? It says, that is because Allah has sent down the book in truth. Up to this point, it's fine, and indeed, those who differ concerning the book. Allah, well, it could have been an indeed, those who differ concerning it, because the entire Quran uses pronouns, even when referring to Allah, with pronouns. Sometimes with the absent pronoun, sometimes with the present pronoun, and sometimes as you speak like this, very well. So here. Why then? Is the word book repeated? Is it for clarification, perhaps? Is the repetition for clarification? I don't understand 177, not the righteousness, and 70, not the righteousness. That you turn your faces towards the east and the west, but righteousness is in one who believes in Allah, the last day, the angels, the book, and the prophets, and gives wealth, in spite of love for it, to relatives, orphans, the needy, the traveler, those who ask, and for freeing slaves, and who establishes prayer and gives zakat, those who fulfill their promise when they promise, and those who are patient in poverty and hardship and during battle. Those are the ones who have been true, and it is they who are the righteous. The real reason for the revelation of this verse is that there was a man who asked the Prophet about righteousness. He said to him, O Messenger of Allah, what is righteousness? Then the verse was revealed. Meaning, if this man had not asked the Prophet this question, this long verse, which is from 77, would not have been revealed. Therefore, we must understand that there is a dialectical relationship between the earth and the sky, between God and man, between the text and reality. I emphasize this point every time because the Quran was not separate from the events on earth, but was a response to them, meaning, it started from the earth. The man asked the Prophet first, and then God responded with a verse second. This should be well understood that the Quran did not come from God separate from the events on earth. No, that's incorrect. The Quran is closely linked to the events on earth, and we must be completely certain of this. That man is a partner with God in the Quran. 178. O you who have believed, prescribed for you is legal retribution for those murdered, the free for the free, the slave for the slave, and the female for the female. But whoever overlooks from his brother anything, then there should be a suitable follow-up and payment to him with good conduct. This is an alleviation from your Lord and a mercy, and whoever transgresses after that will have a painful punishment. The reason for its revelation is that in two tribes a major conflict occurred, meaning a major conflict arose. One tribe insisted that someone from the other tribe be killed, meaning here is one tribe and here is another tribe. This tribe had free men killed, and that tribe had slaves killed. This tribe said every slave and every woman from us should be avenged by killing a free man from that tribe. So the verse was revealed, stating the free man for the free man, the slave for the slave, and the female for the female for all these matters, which is very good. Thus, the verse was revealed on this subject. In any case, it was, of course, later abrogated by another verse, which is, and we ordained for them therein. By the way, abrogation is considered a very significant and definitive proof that the Quran was in a state of dialogue with reality. That is, after this verse was revealed, the reality changed, and thus the situation changed along with it. This verse was abrogated by another verse which states, and we ordained for them therein, a life for a life, an eye for an eye, a nose for a nose, an ear for an ear, a tooth for a tooth, and for wounds, is legal retribution. But whoever gives up his right as charity, it is an expiation for him. And whoever does not judge by what Allah has revealed, then it is those who are the wrongdoers. This is from Al-Ma'idah, verse 45. This verse, which is 178 from Surah Al-Baqarah, is followed by 179, and there is for you in legal retribution, saving of life, O you of understanding, that you may become righteous. The truth is, for me here, of course, there is for you in legal retribution, saving of life means that whoever kills should be killed, meaning retribution is very good. In my opinion, I am against corporal punishment, and as someone who has studied law with a fresh perspective, I am completely against the idea of the death penalty. My viewpoint is that the death penalty for any murderer, rapist, or any crime that currently carries the death penalty should be replaced with life imprisonment. The convict should work in prison for the benefit of their victim, until they leave prison for their grave. 180, and we conclude with this truth. It says, it is prescribed for you, when death approaches any of you, if he leaves any goods, that he makes a bequest to parents and next of kin, according to reasonable usage. This is due from the God-fearing. The truth is, as the Quran states, if someone feels death approaching, if he wants, if he has wealth or goods, that he will leave behind, and he wishes to make a bequest, he should do so. If he leaves any goods, the bequest should be made to parents and next of kin, according to reasonable usage. This is due from the God-fearing. The Prophet says, there is no bequest for an heir, meaning God says one thing and the Prophet says another. So, what did the scholars say? They said that the Prophet's hadith abrogated God's words, abrogated the Quran. I propose the complete abolition of the Sunnah, both verbal and practical, and everything else. I base this proposal on the Quran and the words of the Prophet himself. God defined the role of the Prophet as merely conveying the message to others. I will give you 10 verses from the Quran that explicitly state this matter. Your role is to convey the message only. The Prophet does not have the right to legislate according to these verses. Consider this, but if they turn away, then your duty is only to convey the message. Imran said 20, but if you turn away, then know that our messenger's duty is only to convey the message clearly. Al-Ma'idah 92, the messenger's duty is only pay attention. We will start like this, the messenger's duty is only, put a million circles around only, meaning you have no other task in the universe except. Except what? Except conveying the message. Al-Ma'idah 99, well, your duty is only to convey the message. Arad 40, is there any duty on the messenger except to convey the message clearly? An-Nahl 35, pay attention to accept. Well, if they turn away, your duty is only to convey the message clearly. An-Nahl 82, and the messenger's duty is only to convey the message clearly. An-Nahl 54, and the messenger's duty is only to convey the message clearly. Al-Ankabut 18, and our duty is only to convey the message clearly. Yasin 17, your duty is only to convey the message. Ash-Shura 48, our messenger's duty is only to convey the message clearly. At-Taghabun 12, the message, Shura Council 48, Our messenger's duty is only to convey the message clearly. At Tagabun 12, the prophet's role was defined solely in delivering the message, not in saying words that abrogate God's words. This is absolute. That is relative. God is absolute. The prophet is relative, subject to the events of time from childhood to youth to old age to death to illnesses to everything. It is impossible to accept the principle that the relative can cancel or abrogate the absolute. If we accepted this principle, it would be a disaster by all standards. Regardless of whether the topic is about the will or not, I am speaking in general terms very well. So here is the truth, the Prophet himself. Well, here are the words of the Quran. The Prophet himself said in a hadith narrated by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri that the Prophet said, "Do not write anything from me other than the Quran, and whoever has written anything from me other than the Quran should erase it." The meaning of the words is, do not write anything from me other than the Quran, and whoever has written something should erase it. These are the words of the Prophet himself, a Sahih hadith recorded by Imam Muslim in his Sahih, yes? So these are the words of the Prophet about himself and his stance. The third point is that all the obligations are present in the Quran, sir. For those who say, how do we pray, how do we fast, how do we perform Hajj, how do we perform ablution, and how do we do everything? It's all present in the Quran, and maintain the prayers and the middle prayer, yes? And stand before Allah devoutly obedient. In 2:238 in Al-Baqarah, it's coming up, meaning, and zakat is present, and Hajj is present, and the testimony that there is no God but Allah is present, everything is present, meaning fasting, zakat, prayer, Hajj, and the testimony, the 5 pillars of Islam are present, meaning there is nothing missing or absent. The big problem, in truth, is that Muslims have made a book out of the Sunnah and a God out of the Prophet. This is the problem, so they fell into a problem in a sea without a bottom, in a complete ocean. Go back to history and see what the Umayyads and Abbasids did in the farce of these hadiths. They fabricated, meaning politics entered into it in an extraordinary way. So, I propose the complete abolition of the Sunnah. Verbal, practical, and everything, and that there should be one God and one book around which we all gather, to which we pose our questions, express our grievances, and think about with our minds. And for those who want to think with their hearts, it is just one book, full stop. I present to you 10 verses, 8 of which state that his role is limited to conveying the message only. In truth, Thank you, but could you give me 2 more minutes to just respond to your questions? There are some quick points, really. Also, the Arabic language, the story of the Arabic language. First of all, I know Arabic and studied it at Al-Azhar. The Arabic language, my friends, is an evolving entity. All languages are living beings that develop, change, adapt, and transform, and things like that, otherwise, they die. If the Arabic language does not evolve, it dies. The Quran is fixed. You cannot apply the variable to the fixed. The Quran is an independent matter, a standalone book, or a message that is independent in itself. In truth, I want to say that the diacritics created by the Arabs, such as the Dhamma, Fatha, Kasra, and Sukuan, have truly undermined the Arabic language. Honestly, no one speaks Arabic in the 25 countries. Each country has its own local language or dialect. This is the biggest proof of the failure of the Arabic language because it is burdened with decorations and endless burdens. I wrote an article about this matter in 2004. In reality, it is considered the most difficult subject for students. Is it conceivable that the most difficult subject for our students is their own language? Because it says, for example, subject in the nominative case and object in the accusative case, and why is it in the accusative case? and not the subject like in all languages, subject and object and subject and everything, and that's it, and annexed and annexed to, an object for the sake of, and direct object, and so on. What is the need for all these formations and these diacritics? I mean, when you say, Mohammed went to school, that's it. It's not necessary except for to the school. Is there a verse revealed that in, from, on, and to make what follows them genitive? Why, it's all just stillness, that's it, nothing more. And is there a problem if the subject is in the accusative case and the predicate in the nominative case? What, is the world going to turn upside down? I mean, the English language here is used by people in the street, in the media, in universities, and everywhere else. Why? Because they simplified the language, that's the idea, and English is actually one of the easiest languages. Well, that's one point. The second point is, honestly, some people advise me to listen to Shara and Mustafa Mahmood and all that. The truth is, this channel, folks, is for those who want to break away from the herd. If you want to step out of the herd, come and watch this channel. I don't follow anyone. I follow my own mind. And I have read Shara, Mohammed Abed al-Jabri, Mohammed Jabri al-Ansari, Nasser Hamid Abu Zaid, Mohammed Ahmed Kalafala, Sheikh Khalil Abdel Karim, Ali Abdel Razik, and Judge Ashmawi. I mean, I don't need anyone to guide me. I have a different perspective from all of them, and I have a mind like theirs, no problem. So if you also want to send me somewhere, you go ahead. You go follow whoever you want to follow. Well, the truth is, you're shaking the faith of the general public with your words, asking questions and not answering them. Sir, my job is to stimulate your mind so that you think for yourself, not for me to provide you with answers. My job is to provoke you, so that you go and search, investigate, and find answers, to work, in other words. It's not to provide you with ready-made answers. This is the unseen, unknown to Shara, Ibrahim al-Juwandi, and anyone else. This is the unseen, known only to God. We all present visions that may be correct or may be risky. Well, the truth is, the matter of people defending God's religion and God's prophet and all these things, I see that defending God is capable and strong, capable of defending his prophet, defending his religion, and defending Islam. Your defense of God, his religion, and his prophet is obedience. Who told you that you have a mandate to defend God? Don't defend God. God is capable of defending himself, his prophet, his religion, and his Quran. Don't tire yourself out. Find a job that provides for you, that's it. Everyone will stand before God on the day of judgment. But honestly, I mean, all the radical planes have hijacked God. Don't approach God, come to us first. I mean, I'm still progressing gradually. And I'm not willing to shock people. I mean, I'm not ready to speak very clearly. So what's coming is very shocking. So people who have health issues, or get angry, or get upset, or have high blood pressure, or any of these things, should not come, should not watch the channel. Thank you very much.